we're going to try to get her on. So just hang tight with us for a few minutes. And once she gets on, we'll go ahead and begin our presentation. Again, if you're just logging on, we're just taking a few minutes, having a little technical difficulties. We're getting our guest on. And once she gets in, we will go ahead and begin our presentation. Okay, so we're going to begin. The opinions expressed in this presentation are those of the presenter. They do not purport or reflect the opinions or views of the 30-Day Redemption or its members, officers, staff, partners, or advertisers. So again, thank you all for waiting. I'm going to reintroduce our special guest, Ariadne Joseph of Soul Divine Vibrational Medicine, great friend of mine. She's going to take us on a presentation on healing the human biofield, balancing the seven chakras. So I'm going to stop my screen so she can start. And Ariadne, what's up, sis?
Hey, how are you? Can you hear me?
Can hear you loud and clear.
All
Thanks for
right.
jumping on. I know you had some technical difficulties, so I'm gonna
I
give you the
did.
mic and
All
you're gonna do
right.
your thing. All righty.
Okay. All right. Peace, peace. Ariadne Joseph. I'm sorry, let me position this camera correctly. Okay. You guys can get a better. All right. Joseph. I'm sorry, let me position this camera correctly. So I'll just. All right. Reiki Master Teacher. I am a vibrational medicine practitioner. Um, and I've been in the wellness practice for about 8 years now. So today I'm going to present to you guys how to heal the human biofield using vibrational medicine. Now, before we get started, I do want to give you guys a quick run through of what vibrational medicine is and how it is used to heal the human biofield and what the human biofield is. Because I think now, people are not vibrational medicine is heal. But the human biofield is basically the energy. Before what vibrational medicine heal the human biofield. Or biofields, people are not. Human biofield is basically the energy. The electromagnetic field or electromagnetic energy that we create, our cells create. Energy can also be translated into sound. And so that is where the vibrational, because vibration, energy, sound are all synonymous. They're all the same. And we are created of sound. We indeed are created of sound. Let's go back biblically. If we go back to the Bible, when God said, "Let there be light," the words that were spoken. And so with those words, things were created. Let us creation, right? Using sound, using words. If you've heard the word abracadabra, which is Hebrew for I create what I speak, or I use words to create, right? And so everything, all of us, every piece and part of creation is here through sound and vibration and energy, right? A great example of what energy is can be related to the sun. If you go outside and you feel the heat on your skin, that is the energy from the sun. That is magnetic energy, and you can feel it. If you were to stand on the ground with your bare feet, there are times when you can feel very subtle vibrations. Now, when I was younger, I would think, oh, maybe it's a train, maybe it's a car, but nothing's passing. It's just this very subtle movement. Well, that's the Earth's electromagnetic energy, which is it's measured with hertz. So it's about 7.83. That is the magnetic vibration of the Earth. Reiki, which I am a Reiki master teacher, Reiki is the form of energy healing using the hands, using the body. So I would use my own biofields or bioelectric magnetic energy. I would use my own to transmute. So I transmute that energy. I'm sending that energy into you, and you're sending it back into me. It's almost like a wheel, basically. And so this energy is flowing like a wheel into me, from me to you, and back and forth, right? And so what happens with this energy is that as I am cycling that energy in, it starts to affect your biofields or your auric fields. So another word that's used in the vibrational medicine community, we call it the auric field. And so your auric field is how the energy is measured from that emanates from your body. And it emanates about 6 feet away from the body. And so with Reiki and with sound therapy or vibrational medicine, is that it affects that auric field. It comes into the auric field. So we carry the vibration of about 5 hertz. But when sound comes into your auric field, it raises the vibration to about 7.83. Now that's just, the regular vibration of the earth, vibration of Reiki practitioners and so on. Now, how we raise that vibration depending on what illness or which chakra we want to affect, and I'll explain what chakras are in a minute. Then we would add certain symbols, because we have symbols in Reiki. We would add crystals. We would also incorporate sound therapy like bowls or tingsha bells, which are these bells here. And what these do is, like, as I've said, depending on the particular chakra, because all of our chakras carry a certain vibration, and all of our chakras affect certain parts of our body, certain organs, and so on. And so if I wanted to say, for instance, you're having issues with grief and you've recently lost a loved one. And I know with this pandemic, many people have. And dealing with grief, a lot of people have reported heart issues, chest issues, lung issues, breathing issues, asthma. Folks who have never had asthma before, now they have asthma. People who have never had emphysema has emphysema, and so on and so forth. And so if I want to heal that particular part of the body, I would use this bowl because the heart frequency is about 483 hertz. And so if I want to raise the vibration and heal this particular part of your body, I would use a bowl. And I'd hold the bowl hand over your chest. And I use the mallet here, which is a suede material. So it allows for the ease of rubbing the bowl, creating that vibrational, and I'll let you guys hear that. And so in order for me to hold the vibration, I would rub it against it after I bang. And so using the bowl allows me to transmute that grieving energy, because every emotion carries a vibration as well. So grief would take you to maybe one or two. So it's pretty low, right? Anger is about the same. Fear, all of these emotions are very low vibrating emotions, and so in order to transform these energies using Reiki or using sound therapy, I would administer this particular part over that particular part of your body. Or I'm sorry, that particular instrument over that particular part of your body. And it would transmute that energy. And so, thus creating healing in the body. Now, understanding how sound affects our body, our bones, I'll give you an example. Ultrasounds. When you are pregnant, and I'm sure some of my sisters out there have given birth, when you're pregnant and you go into the doctor and they administer the ultrasound, they're using a sonar type technology that bounces sound because there's water inside of your belly. It's kind of like what whales and dolphins use. They use a sonar vibration or energy throughout its sound, using sound through water. So sound vibrates or reverberates through water. This is the same understanding with ultrasounds, but in order for them to see the baby, the sound has to bounce off of something. So what it does, it bounces off the bone. So sound can actually be transmitted and emitted from our bones. And so this is how you can actually heal fractures using sound. And there have been many reports, especially within Eastern medicine, because Western medicine in the East is considered alternative. Of course, here in the West, Eastern medicine is considered alternative, which Eastern doctors and philosophers and what have you, they have reported such amazing effects of Eastern medicine using sounds, herbal remedies and such, that they wouldn't fathom using drugs unless they absolutely had to. So anyway, going back to that. So using sound bounces off of our bones. It can also repair fractures. And then the sound that bounces off of the baby bones allows you to see the image of the baby onto the screen. So this is kind of how, or pretty much exactly how, energy healing, vibrational healing works. We're using sound to restructure the cells. We're using sound to restructure the bones, restructure any and every part of your body. So moving on. So when it comes to vibrational medicine, what is vibrational medicine? So I'd like to say that vibrational medicine is a subspecialty of medicine. It is not mainstream. Again, it's not mainstream in the West, but it is used in the West, the same as Reiki. And I remember administering Reiki at a hospital in New Orleans, Louisiana. And this was probably, it was an oncology hospital. So they specialized in breast cancer. And it was considered one of the best in the world. And my client, I didn't know, was next door to the Queen of England's niece or something like that. But it was a pretty prestigious and well-known hospital. But here I am administering Reiki, and that was the very first time that I had an understanding for how Western medicine is starting to invite in these Eastern practices, because they see that there is a place for it. They see that, in addition to some of the Western techniques, Eastern medicine, it works. It's very effective. So back to vibrational medicine. So what is vibrational medicine? As I said, it is a subspecialty medicine, and it's used in conjunction with mainstream or Western medicine. And with this medicine, because we use sound, you're not getting a surgery, you're not getting drugs, you're not taking anything. You are basically using sound to restructure the cells, thus healing the body. So we're going to go into a demonstration of what the effects of sound, and we'll also go into a meditation as well. And so with vibrational medicine, I do incorporate meditation. I also incorporate holistic wellness, meaning we're talking about wellness of the entire body. So not just the physical, not just the mental, but spiritual as well. So all of these parts of the body, everything works in unison with the other. And so when we think about the chakras, and I'll explain that right now. So the chakras are energy centers of the body. And chakra is a Sanskrit word for wheel, meaning things flow. Same as with Reiki, how things flow through the body, right? And so when it comes to chakras, we'll talk about blockages and how having a blockage prevents the wheel from flowing, or the energy from flowing. So you have 7 chakras. We actually have more than 7, but in the West, we do know of 7 major chakras. We also have meridians, which are power centers of the body as well. And we have nadis, which are also power centers of the body. And depending on which culture you've studied, you'd have different names. So you have chakras, you have meridians, you have nadis, right? So the 7 chakras, starting from the very top, you have your crown, and then you have your third eye, you have your throat chakra, your heart, you have your solar plexus, you have your sacral, which is underneath. Solar plexus is above the belly button, and the sacral is below. And then you have your root chakra, which is at the base of the spine. So the root chakra is considered the first. So I actually started backwards from 7 all the way down to 1. The first chakra, which is your root chakra, is what grounds you, what keeps you grounded in reality, keeps you grounded in the world around you. And that is a very important chakra, because this chakra is so close to the earth, so close to the Earth's electromagnetic field. And what happens in the Earth, like right now, what's happening, because we all share a collective consciousness. And we have what is called the Maharishi effect, where if everybody thought the same thing, this thought goes into a cloud that becomes a collective consciousness. It becomes a collective vibration, a collective feeling. And so right now we are all sharing a collective feeling with the pandemic, with rioting and protesting and all of what's happening right now, the economic crash and things of this nature. And so we're all thinking the same, right? And so these thoughts are all collected in this big cloud. So going back to the root chakra is affected primarily by what happens around us. And so this is probably one of the chakras that I would always tell clients to make sure that you stay grounded. And you can do that by combining or connecting rather to the electromagnetic energy of the earth, which is 7.83. This is a very neutral energy. This is a very calming energy. And so a great way to do that, I'll give you 2 great ways. One of my favorite is what we call earthing. So you would take your bare feet and you place them on the ground, preferably in dirt and not grass, because grass kind of interferes with the connection. But once you have your feet, both feet planted firmly on the ground, you can maybe hold that pose or sit there for about 15 minutes, about 15, 30 minutes a day of earthing. Another great way to earth, and you can also place your root chakra on the ground too. So you can actually sit on the ground. I do that as well. Placing a towel down if you don't want to get dirty, but sitting on the ground is a perfect way to connect the root chakra to the electromagnetic energy of the earth. Another cool way to connect is to hug a tree. So trees are known to have and carry very, very ancient energy. And so they are connected to the electromagnetic energy of the earth. And they are also alive. They're vibrating, they have energy, they have memories stored. Trees can hear you, trees can heal you as well, same as plants. So holding on to a tree, you're connecting your heart chakra. Not only are you connecting your root chakra via the feet to the tree, but you're also connecting at the base of the tree. So your heart is connected to the tree as well. So whatever vibrations that you are receiving from the earth, which are very wonderful vibrations, then those are the vibrations that you are receiving as well, which grounds you. And that root chakra is very, very why it's important is because this chakra, if it's blocked, energy cannot flow through the others. That makes sense. So if you have a stream and you throw a tiny little stream, you throw a big rock into the stream. Now those are the vibrations that, and that's a great way to stay grounded. I would do it every day because this chakra, if it's blocked, tiny little stream, you throw a big rock into the stream, and so energy cannot flow through the others. You throw a rock centered and centered and grounded is a great way to keep those other chakras from being blocked or allow clearing out the chakras. I absolutely love um, doing chakra work on my clients because the one thing that I have noticed is that when they come in, and this is attached to my holistic wellness practice, when they come in, they have one issue, but everything can always be traced back to blocked chakras via emotions, thoughts, right? Thoughts is energy. It's energy. It creates illnesses in the body. This is the reason why they call disease. You are creating a sense of uneasiness in the body, which can result in illness. And so our thoughts create our illnesses. Our thoughts create our state of being. Our thoughts are energy, right? So with my clients, when they would come in, I had one amazing sister come in and she had a lot of fibroid issues. She had fertility issues. And this, for me, is a blocked, well, what I understand is a blocked sacral and it is a blocked root chakra. So our sacral chakra, that is our creativity, our sexuality, right? And that governs all of the organs, the feminine, male, reproductive organs. So when I have sisters coming in with reproduction issues, immediately I know that they're holding on to traumas because women particularly hold on, when we hold on to trauma or we've experienced trauma, we carry it in our wombs. We carry it in our sacral. And so coming in, she's thinking, oh, I have fibroids, I have this. But then after we had a session, we realized that it was her divorce. It was her childhood issues or traumas from sexual abuse and that kind of thing that was contributing to a lot of her illnesses. And so once she was able to kind of work through a lot of those emotions, those feelings, that stagnant energy started to break up, along with, of course, Reiki and sound therapy. She was able to heal those fibroids. And we changed her diet as well. Again, that's part of the holistic health wellness practice is that we change everything. We don't just focus on one particular part of the body, you focus on the whole. And so not only did we start to administer the vibrational medicine or the Reiki, We also started to change the diet. We also incorporated movement because, again, vibration. So when you exercise, when you do yoga, when you dance, you move the hips, you move, any part of the body, that vibration starts to shake up and move the energy around. And so, all of these things were helping to help her heal her body. Because, what I want to do and what Eastern medicine teaches us is that we can heal ourselves. We are healers. And with this technology, with this body of knowledge, we're learning how to heal ourselves. We don't have to go out and add anything to our bodies or take anything away outside of using certain tools, right? And so with vibrational medicine, we're simply using instruments and sound to transmute energy. And of course, with energy, energy can't be created or destroyed, only transmuted. So even with Reiki or with vibrational medicine, you're not getting rid of negative energy, because I think this is a misconception as well in the healing community, is that, and I won't say in the healing community, but it is a misconception when it comes to the healing community, is that we need to do away completely with negative energy. No, you need an opposite to everything. Everything, that the world is centered around balance. Without day, we couldn't have night. We can't just have day all day. We need night. We need to sleep. And our body's circadian rhythm is connected to the moon, to the cycles of the moon, and so is a woman's cycle, right? And so if the moon never came, we may never get our cycles, and then we'd be thrown out of whack. The world would just, nature as we know it, would just be out of whack, basically, because there's no balance. So we have to have balance. You have to have good, you have negative. The thing about negative energy is that you transmute it. You use negative energy when you need it. I would say, like, the energy of war. If we need to use that energy to win a war, we're fighting against our enemy. That's when you use that energy. So you don't want to get rid of it. You want to hang on to it. You just want to be able to transmute it, and you want to be able to balance the energy. And so what therapy with vibrational medicine practices and Reiki practices and any type of metaphysical practice, it's simply about balance. You're balancing out the body and bringing the body back to an even keel, back to that 7.83 hertz, right? So hopefully you guys understood a lot of what I said. And of course, we'll have a portion at the end, 10 minutes. You guys can ask questions, as many questions as you like. So I'll get into the meditative portion and the vibrational therapy portion. So I'll explain really quickly what we'll be using today. We'll be using Tingshaw bells, which you may have listened to meditating videos, audio videos, and you may have heard these bells. So what these bells do, same thing the sound bowl does, and I'll explain this little guy later. But what this does is breaks up the energy. It has a high pitched sound, so it's piercing the ears. When you hear that, around you now.
I think we have a bad connection. All right, just pause for 1 second. Let's make sure we catch you up with video. If you can hear, let's make sure your phone connects or reconnects before we continue, because right now it's frozen. Just hold on for 1 second, everyone. I'm gonna try to see if we can get Ari to come back and finish our presentation. Might be a phone connection issue. You're still frozen. You want to maybe restart your video if you can hear. Just restart it. How is it coming in with audio? Unmute your mic, Ari, please. Okay, great with audio. But Ari, can you unmute if you can hear? Can you unmute your mic? If you are speaking, you're on mute. So, um, if you can unmute it and try again.
So I have her right here on the phone. She just is an issue she's having. She's about to re-log in. So even though you see her name there, she's not there. So she's about to log back on.
Any any thoughts on, is everyone hearing most of what is being said? Any feedback? Maybe you can unmute your mics and just chime in until she gets back. Okay. I thought was pretty interesting was the how vibrations are affecting us, but then we think about all of this 5G and all the other vibrations that are going on around us, and you just kind of wonder what is happening to our bodies that we don't know about. um, and also music vibration, what type of vibes are coming through the speaker, and how is that presenting itself in our body. So hopefully she can answer some of those questions for us. Apologize for the delay. Someone mentioned, yes, Vicky mentioned she was going to say that once she started bringing out the bells, it froze. It might be that. You know, um, it might be that, or maybe something technical, but it's just very interesting. I noticed that in the past, when you have certain spiritual conversations, usually technology starts to go haywire. Um, so, you know, I don't know if that's our superstition or if that's actual fact, but I know that these type of things have had technology start to shut off. I remember one time I was doing a conference call on a very interesting and deep topic, and my call dropped, and I was on the landline. Usually call drop on a cell phone, my call dropped. So be interesting to know why. And as far as being able to offset some of these waves, Alex, are you there? I know that we talked about offsetting the electromagnetic field that pass through us, and I believe there's certain type of clothing and stones and different things apparently to offset that. Alex, do you have any information on that? You could chime in while we wait. If you're muted, can you unmute?
Hello?
There
Hello?
you go. Yeah, so you know some things about offsetting some of these vibes that we can't see. What are some of the things that you saw? And this is, while we wait for Ari, what are some of the things that you've seen to offset some of those waves that we don't see that are still affecting us, affecting our bodies?
Well, they have some shielding fabric. They call it EMF, and it's supposed to, and well, it does because I've tried it out myself here at my house with my cell phone and with my laptop. It's just special fabric, shielding fabric, and it blocks the waves. So if you have a meter, you'll see the high frequency waves go up, but when you put the EMF shield over it, it blocks it. So they have clothing for it. They have hats.
Mm-hmm.
I made a head shield, like a scarf, a bandana,
Mm-hmm.
to reduce the effects that are coming from me when I'm sitting in front of the computer or my cell phone, and the
What are
waves
some
outside as well.
What are some of the things that emit these waves in the house?
Your cell phone, your laptop. Um, we have the walls, so the way I live by towers. So if I have like a bunch of cell phone towers around me, so when I'm outside, the reading is high. But luckily, when you're inside, you have the walls, so they can't penetrate through the walls. But within your home, you have your PS4s, you have your TVs, you have your cell phones, and you have your laptops that we should still be shielding each other from, and the microwave. But
Wow.
computers and the phones are really high.
Higher than the microwave?
Mm. You know what? I have to check that out, but I believe so. I haven't really put
And
it
there are apps
into
that you
that.
can test, right? There's apps that you can use to test the frequencies moving around in your house.
Yes, you just gotta
You
get
have
an EMF reader.
EMF reader, an actual reader, or you can use your phone.
I believe there's a app. There's an app that comes with a shielding fabric, EMF shielding fabric. Some companies do have an app so that you can test it out for yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And let me see what it's called. It's called Faraday, Faraday. They
Mm-hmm.
sell material, and they also have an app where you can go ahead and test the waves around you.
Very interesting. I mean, so in other words, the person who got rid of their microwave and still has their iPhone is still exposed.
Oh yeah, you're still exposed with especially when everybody's on their laptop. Everyone's always on their phone. They actually have gloves also you can wear.
So what if you don't have a microwave and you don't have any technology, but your neighbor has it? Does your wall block out their waves, or are you still subject to their waves, even though you don't have it in your own house?
No, the wall does block.
It does. Okay.
Yeah.
I remember, and everyone, we're just waiting for Ari to come on, so we're just kind of talking. I remember uh, back in the day when too many people with cell phones would be in one area, it would overload that particular tower, and you won't be able to use your phone until you remove from that area and went somewhere else. Um, but I wonder if, a bunch of people together, let's say on a subway or on a bus, and everyone has a cell phone, if everyone is subject to all of those waves, if it's intensified because of the number of people in the space. And also, what are these waves doing? Is it giving us cancer? What is it giving us? There you go. Welcome
I'm
back.
back.
And we's having a whole full blown conversation. Before you continue, I have a question. In regards
Okay.
to the waves, in regards to the waves and how the waves that you're about to do with this demonstration, you're able to take the bells and kind of reset the body. How bad are we, when we're exposed to the cell phones, the PS4s, the computers? Like, what kind of effect is it having on our bodies, and how does your system that you're about to show help to recalibrate, and how often should you do it?
Um, Basically, those things are very bad. They emit EMF waves. Those EMF waves interfere with our electromagnetic energy. So again, we have the hurt of our natural vibration or human's vibration is measured in about 5 to 7 hertz, right? But when we are using cell phone technology, we have the 5G towers or what have you, this interferes with that particular vibration, bringing it lower. So it keeps us low in a very low state. Even watching television, radio waves or radio electromagnetic waves do the same thing. This is how they send or they program us. They can program our mind starting off very young because children between the ages of newborn to 7 are very, very, very susceptible to conditioning. This is when they're learning. This is when they're taking everything in, right? And so if they're constantly being bombarded with these very low vibrational frequencies coming through the EMFs, coming through the cell phones, coming through the radio and the TV, they're constantly being, I would say their energy is being suppressed and so that they can't rise any higher than that particular vibration, thus not allowing them to properly develop spiritually, mentally, emotionally. This is why we find a lot of children having ADHD. This is why we find a lot of like a very it's an increase, honestly, in ADHD in the last 10 to 15 years because of what they're being exposed to by way of vibrations, by way of EMF signals and waves. And so, yes, the cell phone towers, all of these things are basically preventing us from raising our vibration. Now, that's only if you have metaphysical practice. If you are meditating, because meditation brings us back up. This is also alpha wave up to alpha, which is 7.83. That is the brain wave that our brains are on. So that's the same electromagnetic energy. This is also alpha wave. So we have theta. These are the 4 wave patterns. That is using tingsha bells, using full meditation, all these things bring our vibe. We're constantly being taken back down. So this is why a practice of meditation and sound ends. And unless you can get yourself away from cell phone towers, far away, then you'd be fine. But if you are near to any degree, within 50 feet, you are being affected consistently. So incorporating those metaphysical practices in does help to, as you said, recalibrate the body. And it's important to do it every single day. I hope that answered the question.
It did. And go ahead and continue with your, the other part of your presentation. Um, but I wanted to get that in, and then after, open up for all the other questions.
Okay,
Okay,
awesome.
awesome.
So I believe you guys said that I was cut off right before I talked about the tingsha bells. So with the tingsha bells, this is used in Eastern, Japan, just all of Eastern countries, primarily India, and they use these during meditation. Most times they use these before they began meditation, and the reason why they use these is because the pitch coming from tingsha bells is very, very high pitch. And what happens is it breaks up negative energy. So if there is any negative energy that exists around you or within your auric field, you want to break it up before you start your meditation. And so it's basically a way to break the energy. But it's also used in junction with the bowl. So if I was to bring the bowl here, start using the bowl, and I am in the middle of using the bowl, I would use the bell. And so it's kind of how I use or incorporate the ting sha into the sound therapy or sound medicine practice, right? Now, with the ting sha, we also have the sound bowl. So this particular bowl is a heart chakra bowl. Absolutely love it because I'm always working on the heart to keep the vibration of my heart high because, as we all know, there's a lot of heaviness that exists most times within us, and the heart chakra is being heavily affected as well. So, in order to keep that heart chakra open and vibrating at a very high vibration, which is 5.83, um, I use the bowl to bring that vibration up. And this particular bowl, it comes with this particular mallet. I have several types. I have the crystal bowl. I have metal. One of my favorites, the crystal. I love the crystal because of the aesthetic. It's very pretty. You can put candles inside of the crystal, which gives it a very dramatic look. Um, and crystal is a great quartz, particularly. It's a very, very great stone. We all know that quartz can emit energy. It can be used. It's a battery, basically, which holds energy. All crystals do, but quartz in particular, what quartz does for other crystals is that it magnifies the metaphysical properties of a particular crystal. So if you held onto a quartz and you meditated, whatever vibration that your body goes up to, which is 7.83, it's magnified holding that quartz. That's one of the reasons why I absolutely love quartz as well. The crystal bowls is because it basically magnifies the vibration. Now with metal, the cool thing about metal is that it's also an energy conductor. With metal, the vibration is the resonance is deeper. The resonance is heavier. And I absolutely love the resonance. So actually, in junction with the crystal, I would use metal too, just to kind of give it more of an impact, right? More of an effect. So I'll go in and try to get this done. I do apologize for the technical difficulties we did experience, guys. So we're gonna try to get this in really quickly. So I'll do a demonstration of the vibrational medicine. And so we'll start with the tingsha. See if you guys can see the bowls here. So this is the bowl here. And I'll just give you a quick tutorial as to how to get started. So I typically start clockwise at the top, going around, bringing the energy to me. And you can go counterclockwise, which is pushing the energy away. So if there's a particular emotion that you want to um, or chakra or feeling that you want to move away from yourself, then you're pushing it away counterclockwise. If there is positive energy that you want to bring in, depending on the particular use of the bowl, then you bring it clockwise. And so I'd like to hit it here, here, in the four centers of the bowl. So starting north, east, southwest, that kind of thing, right? And so then we'll get started there. so I don't know, when you guys hear it, there is almost an oscillating force with the sound. You hear woo, woo, woo. That is a particular vibration that is what changes. That is what transforms the energy, our energy or auric fields. The oscillating sound that it makes. And believe it or not, when it comes to sounds, people believe that sounds is simply air being manipulated, but it's not. Sound is not air. Sound is a molecule. And it is a geometric molecule. I'll give you an example. It's called, what is it called? Symbiotic? I think that's the name of it. It is a practice using sound, but you would take a soundboard, black soundboard, and you put salt on the soundboard and you connect it to a sound connector. You turn the sound up, and the vibration of the board starts to move the salt with the sound. So when the sound starts to emanate from the board, it moves the salt. The salt starts to create these really very intricate geometric patterns, but the patterns are never the same. They're always changing constantly. And honestly, I was pretty good at math. I always thought I was good at geometry, but I had never seen, when I seen this demonstration, I've never seen the shapes that I saw. These geometric patterns were very, very different. It was something I've never seen before, but they were never the same. And so basically what sound is, it's geometric molecules, and it's being oscillated. The oscillation of the molecules is what creates the sound. And that sound, of course, is a part of us. It's in every cell. And because we also carry crystal, there is a crystal liquid inside of our brain, particularly the pineal gland. And it was found, Harvard professors, this is in 2002, found that there were, inside the pineal, existed crystals. This is one of the reasons why the pineal is so, it's such an important organ, because it's responsible for our dream and wake cycle, our circadian rhythm. It is responsible for our connection to the spirit world, which is something that we cannot see, we can only feel. It is our connection to different universes. We're able to tap into other realms via the pineal gland, which is probably why we have a situation where they're putting fluoride into our water, because they understand or know that fluoride is a neurotoxin, affects the brain, and it calcifies the pineal, thus preventing us from being able to experience or to elevate higher in our vibrational and metaphysical abilities. I did want to touch on one particular thing before we continue. What happened, we were talking about what happened with the video stopping as soon as I picked up the bells and that kind of thing. Well, that's also energy. Energy can affect many things outside of us, and we may not even be aware. And I'll give you an example. If anybody out there have ever walked into a room when people have just finished, maybe they just finished talking about you, maybe they've just finished having a very heated, intense conversation. But when you walk into the room, it's quiet, but you feel this very heavy feeling. And you're thinking, well, what is that? You feel it. You can't put it into words. You can't articulate what it is, but you feel it. Well, that's energy. Whatever they were going through, whatever they were feeling at the time, that energy is lasting. It stayed. And it became stagnant, especially if it's a room and there's no way for this energy to move out. It became stagnant. So you walked into a room full of very heavy negative energy. And this is what energy is, right? So what happens is I've experienced this myself, and I've had people tell me they've gotten into arguments with maybe a spouse, and then you see a light flicker. That energy that you're emitting, that anger, that resentment, whatever it is that you're feeling, is now being emitted from your auric field out into the universe. Like it's the Maharishi effect, right? It's that universal consciousness. You're sending those thoughts and feelings up into that cloud. Well, don't think that because you're sending the feelings or the thoughts or that energy up, that it can't affect other things. It does. And be it positive or negative, just like positive thoughts can affect us in a positive way, negative thoughts can do the same. And so that negative energy that's being emitted is starting to interfere with the appliances and electronics in your house. This happens. And so this can also happen when I'm picking up the bowl and I'm super excited about this presentation and I just love talking about this stuff and doing this, and then it cuts off. So this is quite possible. And it happens. It definitely happens. So, if it's a situation where you get into your car works perfectly fine, but you're on your way to a meeting and your energy is heightened and you're excited, you're nervous, that's energy, it's being emitted, and it may interfere with your car's engine. And now your car doesn't work and it won't start. And you find yourself like, oh my God, I can't get this car to start. This happens. We actually create everything around us with our thoughts. Our thoughts create, our words create. We are the creators of our reality. And another example, and I'll move on. I was actually on my way to an audition because I'm also a professional actor. I'm on my way to an audition. It's raining. I'm late. This is a big audition. I'm meeting with a very big and popular director and producer. And I'm thinking, oh God, I can't be late. This is a big opportunity. And I get into an accident maybe 3 miles away from my house. Not even that far. And it was a fender bender. Wasn't anything major, but I got into an accident. And I firmly believe that it was my thoughts. I'm so worried. I'm so nervous. I'm so hyped up and anxious. Boom, I hit somebody, right? And we're at a light. So, we can chalk it up to, oh, it's human error. I wasn't paying attention, but I was paying attention. I was in thought, but I was paying attention. And I wasn't even going fast. But here I am. My thought created this particular microcosm, and boom, it exploded. It came to a crescendo. So this is one of the things that I tell my clients all the time is mind your thoughts. Mind your thoughts. They're very powerful. They can change, they can create, they can transform and transmute. Okay. So I'll leave the floor open now for questions if anybody has any. And I will. Kishab, can you hear me?
I can.
Okay. Is it open for questions now, or is there?
Yeah, let's do that. It's always an extensive subject, and thank you for bringing out both the education and also for showing us the examples of what can be done. Because invisible things definitely do create visible results. What they say, thoughts becomes things. So if anyone has any question, can you unmute and ask Ari the question directly, or if you prefer to type it, please go ahead and type it.
Ari, I had a question. This is
Hi.
Rafaela. When you're doing when it comes to to the poles and to the hertz, how effective it is when someone has pre-recorded that? Let's say, for example, like I see a lot on YouTube, people that they mix it with music and other things. How does that change the frequency as it's coming through the airwaves as opposed to being live? Like, how does that change the frequency? Is that an impact on that?
It can have, it's very little impact because you're still receiving the particular vibration. Now, don't get me wrong, there's nothing like hearing it and having the bowl or the particular instrument next to the body, especially if you're using tuning forks. People can't use tuning forks by video because tuning forks directly, it's a smaller instrument, so it affects very smaller parts of the body, very concentrated parts, right? But when it comes to bowls, when it comes to music, that sound can be emitted and vibrated through speaker, and it's rare that it's affected heavily by anything outside of it. So if you do hear meditation music or meditation bowls and it's paired with music, depending on the type of music, because you have what they call binaural beats, and binaural beats it's the very same principle. It's using sound to transmit energy. Binaural beats carry certain frequencies of vibrations. So if you're looking for a binaural beat to help you relax or get into a alpha state brainwave, then you'll have a particular hertz for that particular brainwave. And many people actually pair binaural beats with the tincture bells, sound bowls, and that kind of thing. And so it's still very good. So to answer the question, no, it doesn't affect it in a way that it won't be effective for you. It will still be effective. It will still, do what it's supposed to do.
Got it. All right. Thank you.
No problem.
Alex, did you have a question?
Okay, can you hear me? My phone's a
Yes.
little.
Yeah.
All right. My question was, is there a way of measuring the hertz in your body? Because I heard you say that different areas carry different hertz, correct?
Yes. There is a way. I don't. It's. I would say you'd have to get the equipment for it. I cannot think of the name of the machine that's used. I know that they actually have it in the hospitals. Um, Turn it. You.
Well, but even at home,
But there
because I
is a
know
way
I could feel,
to.
to measure. I'm sorry, I can't hear.
I can hear you a little bit. You're breaking up though. Okay, I can't hear you now.
I think she's muted. Alex,
Okay.
okay.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. But even though let's say if you don't have the machine, but you can feel it, right? That feeling that you get it will kind of like tell you whether you're up or down in those levels.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Then you intuitively would know what's raised. It's as long as you know which chakra holds what. As I've said, the heart is 583 hertz. So once you learn the particular vibrational wave of each chakra, you'll know then if you've raised, or you can feel the difference. As you said, you can feel the difference. Many people feel relaxed. Many people feel like a weight has been lifted, so they feel lighter. So they know that there has been some change within their body. But measuring it at home, it's hard to measure at home. You just know intuitively that it has changed, or that it has been affected, that particular chakra or vibration. So to answer the question, there's no way to measure it without a machine.
Okay, great. Thank you.
No problem.
Okay. I have a question. In regards to live instruments, I would always say that there is a feeling that comes over you when you hear a concert. And I could only imagine like the Earth, Wind, and Fire, or even any modern day band. Do you get the same, or do you know if you get the same effect of just going to a concert that plays live music? And does that carry the same effect also in some of the maybe West African nations? They use the Congo. Like, do the instruments themselves have the very same effect as the bowl if you're exposed to the music?
Absolutely, it sure does. And in music, they use the Fibonacci code, or mathematical code. So in Fibonacci, I'm sure you've probably heard of it. It's a mathematical. It's pi, basically, PHI, and it's found in everywhere in nature. But in music, they have it in music as well, in the notes. And so when you're reaching certain points of the Fibonacci, it's a crescendo. So if you listen to Earth, Wind, and Fire, and you hear, and as you're listening, at a point in the song, it goes up. The music starts to build, right? So this is the Fibonacci. That's what you're hearing right now. Now, how it affects the body, as you said, the same way the bowls do, same way African drums. It affects the core, every cell of the body, the vibrations of these particular instruments, depending on what they're playing, the words that are attached to it, the intentions that are attached to the sound depends on how it's going to make you feel. For example, if you're watching a movie, they typically, in order to manipulate your emotions watching the movie, and you kind of remember certain parts of the movie because of how you felt about that. The music, right? The music is used. They'll give you, if it's a scene where it's sadness, somebody's dying. you'll have violin, right? And you'll have the very low strings. So these low vibratory sounds coming from the violins brings the vibration down, right? And so you feel sadder. You don't feel as happy. But then when they want to bring you up, bring the vibration up, then it's lighter strings, right? And it brings you further up into the chakras. And so now it's pulling at the heart and it's making you happy. And so, yeah, to answer your question, music has the very same effect that sound bowls do. But the thing about the sound bowl instruments, like the tingshaw bells, the bowls, is that you control how you feel and what you feel versus the music. So this is why it's important to choose what you allow your body and your mind to hear, because it affects you. It affects every part of your body, every cell. And so if you created your own music, then you can manipulate your own energy and, thus creating a higher vibration, healing your own body, and so on and so forth. But if you're listening to music, say the radio, that music, very low vibratory music. And so that music will always keep you vibrating here and not up here. Did I answer your question?
It did. I mean, it's a subject that we can continue to continue to build on. What I'm gathering, is that our ignorance to these invisible things is causing us more damage than. So, for example, you may avoid getting hit by a truck, but you're getting hit by waves.
Right.
You may avoid using the microwave, but you're on your computer at work for 8 hours and you're getting hit by waves. So
Absolutely.
from
Even
so
blue
from
light emitted from computers can ruin our eyes.
yeah, definitely.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's almost as if you must take in all of the modalities that you need. For example, I'm big on fasting. We just did a fast that ended yesterday. Praying for the main reason of resetting and realigning your body so that you're not so off that you'll get your prayer in, you will get your fast in. 30-day redemption is another one of those things. The sound, being near water, the
Yes.
proper foods, rest. The other day I
Yes.
came across some information that was like sleep itself is healing. And
Yes. Very
you know,
healing.
right. But so for example, they'll tell you take NyQuil for when you're sick because NyQuil makes you sleep and sleep makes you heal.
Exactly. There you go.
So you don't really need the NyQuil. You just
Exactly.
need some sleep.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, you would need what you need to heal and what would help with your sleep. What improves sleep. We have certain foods that you can eat that creates melatonin in the body. But
right.
another awesome thing that creates melatonin is sun. If you got 30 minutes of sunlight per day, that produces enough melatonin each day for you to get a nice, great 8-hour sleep at night. Like it produces the melatonin. So, or it increases melatonin production. Another great thing because melatonin is produced in the gut, the food that we eat. Cherries is a great melatonin producer. Walnuts is a great melatonin producer. Even CBD is great for melatonin production. So yeah, to your point, sleep is in the body because the body has an opportunity now to regenerate itself, to rebuild itself, repair itself. And fasting does the very same thing that sleep does, believe it or not. Mm-hmm. Fasting repairs the body by way of allowing the second brain, which is your gut, it allows the second brain or your gut to rest because our gut takes so much energy from our bodies to function because we're constantly eating. We're eating all day, right? And so the more you're eating, the more your gut is working, the more energy is taken from your body. And when I say your body, every part of your body, your brain, your eyes, your heart, your kidneys, everything is losing power because of your digestive system needing that power. Once your digestive system is resting, everything else can work at its optimal production.
Capacity.
So when I fasted for Ramadan for 30 days, and my eyesight got better. I wore glasses. Just fasting for 30 days allowed my eyesight to improve. I saw I didn't even need my glasses.
Wow.
That's how amazing fasting is for the body. Fasting is amazing. It is. I recommend
It's,
it.
and I just have two comments and then I'll get you, Jabrita. I remember years ago looking at a video and they said that um, things move from the east to the west, and now things are moving from the west back to the east, meaning the lifestyle. So right now we're very much under a western lifestyle, but it's like now the eastern, just because of the cycles of life, that the eastern lifestyle is going to become more dominant than the Western lifestyle, just for you to be able to survive.
Yes.
So we have to embrace, if not, because some things seem like they have a philosophical or doctrinal, but it's really understand what's out there and understand how these things should be implemented, because by default, you're embracing the doctrinal or systematic destruction just by your lifestyle, the microwave, the fast foods, the 10 hours of television. So embrace a lifestyle, or at least learn about lifestyles that can
Right.
help with your body, without thinking so much about the doctrinal component. Learn the information and see how it can be implemented. And the last comment that I have before I get Jabrita in is, along with what you were saying about the melatonin, I came across one gentleman, I forgot his name, but an Asian gentleman that said that DMT can be created by being in a dark room for 7 to 12 days.
Yes.
And I thought that was pretty
Yep.
amazing. I know there's a big discipline, but if you want to create, because he said melatonin is created actually in the dark, and he said that melatonin will help you to be able to tap into the DMT. I forget what the acronym means. You would know better than I, but that helps you to kind of tap into another part of your mind, another part of your spirit. So all of these things we should look into and
Absolutely.
understand so that we can heal, because obviously it's very expensive to not heal. Okay, and someone is waiting to have
Correct.
you in a hospital and chop you up and take your assets because you didn't take the time. Okay.
Yes.
So that was my comment, and
Oh,
hopefully you're in agreement with that.
can I comment on your comment?
Absolutely.
I just want to add, what he said is absolutely true. Being in a dark room can create DMT or melatonin, but if you want to do that on a smaller scale, because you don't even have to be that extreme, you can do it every night. I recommend blacking out your room, so you can get some blackout curtains. And so at night when you're sleeping, rather than having the computer, the TV on, the lamp on, or any type of device with light, black the room out, and that allows you to create DMT every night. This allows for you to actually reach REM sleep. So rapid eye movement, right? That's a very deep sleep. So now you're in a theta state when you're sleeping. Your brain waves they're completely, in a healing, restful state, thus allowing the body to create the DMT. So you
Mm.
can do it that way as well. And it won't be as much DMT as you create if you did it for 5 days or however long. But just that 8 hour, 9 hour time slot would allow you to create DMT. And the best times to sleep is between the time of 10 p.m. to 2 a.m. This is the most optimal time for the body to be healing.
And for the
So that's what I
audience,
want.
and I appreciate that, and thank you for that. For the audience who don't know what DMT is, would you be able to give a quick synopsis, or I can just read
Mhm.
it off? What do you think?
Well, can you read off the whole word? Because
The
I have to
word
look it
is
up. To,
dimethyltryptamine. DIMEHYLTRYPTAMINE. And what it is, it says it is a chemical substance that occurs in many plants and animals, and which is both a derivative and structural analog of tryptamine. It can be consumed as a psychedelic drug and has historically been prepared by various cultures for ritual purposes as an
Mhm.
entheogen. DMT is illegal
Mhm.
in most countries. So, can you just elaborate just a little bit on that really quick?
Um, sure. So with DMT, I've actually taken DMT, but I've taken it in the form of mushrooms. And with mushrooms, it has a very same effect because it increases the DMT in the brain, thus allowing you to enter a very spiritual state. It actually activates the part of the brain that's activated when you pray. The part of the brain is activated when you're at church and you feel that feeling of the Holy Spirit. Well, this is what DMT does. DMT activates that part of the pineal gland. It's carried in the gut and it's also in the pineal, same as melatonin. And so with DMT, it allows you to tap into the dream state. This dream state is your subconscious, right? So when I mentioned earlier about the collective consciousness of the world, the Maharishi effect with meditating, everybody meditating at the same time, everybody praying at the same time, which is why in the Bible it says when two or three are in agreement, I'll be there in the midst. Well,
Mm-hmm.
that makes sense because we are our collective consciousness is now focused on the same thing, which is a very powerful energy. Even if 1% of the population of the world consciousness was focused on the same thing, we can shift and move our reality and the reality of the world. So DMT, what that does is allow you to tap into that very same subconscious that can create your reality, which creates your reality now. And the thing about the subconscious or tapping into it via DMT is that we don't have access to the subconscious just in our everyday life. We have more access to the conscious because of how the brain is structured. Our brain, because we have a million thoughts a day, we can't hold on to all of those thoughts. We wouldn't be functional. So what the brain does is it takes thoughts that you need, like your phone number. You need to remember that. You need to remember your kids' names, right? So the brain makes sure that you store that information into your consciousness, right? But the subconscious that takes on numbers that you saw, that you just saw very quickly. Your subconscious held on to it.
Mm-hmm.
Something that you heard on the radio, something in a song, subconscious held on to it. So you may not even remember it consciously, but subconsciously you remember that. Now, all of those memories that are stuck into or are stored into the subconscious, we want to be able to tap into it because the great thing about our subconscious is that it has information that we need in order for us to make better decisions about our lives. It has the information that we need that's part of past lives that are experiences that we've already had that can help us in this life, right? So we want to tap into the subconscious to get this information because it's very important. But we can't tap into it unless we are meditating, unless we are in some type of theta state, brainwave state, unless we are using tools like ayahuasca, DMT, mushrooms, or psychedelic mushrooms. There
Or
are
if
a
you
few
stay in the
other.
room for 7 to 12 days and mind your
So
business.
ayahuasca is one of the that too.
Right.
But ayahuasca is one of the um, the medicines that they mentioned that different cultures use. In the Amazon, people of the Amazon use ayahuasca. The shamans use it. It's not something that just an average person uses. Shamans use it to tap into the subconscious because they're looking for messages from their ancestors, from the universe, that kind of thing, and they're able to impart that wisdom that they've received onto the people. So this is what DMT does. DMT allows you to unlock the subconscious thoughts, your subconscious wisdom, the subconscious um, guidance, or whatever exists in the subconscious. Now you're unlocking that, and that can also be to heal traumas too. This is one of the reasons why I tried or used mushroom therapy is because of childhood traumas that I had. It just wasn't enough. Therapy wasn't doing it. And so there were other ways for me to unlock the subconscious. And what happens is once it's unlocked, you can go into those memories, relive those memories, but you can live them in a way that, or you can structure the memory in a way that serves you best, in a way that allows you to overcome it or heal from it. And that
Mm-hmm.
depends on whatever the memory is. But this
Mm-hmm.
is the understanding of using mushroom and DMT to heal those types of issues or trauma.
So you could go into a room with for 7 to 9, 7 to 12 days, with some Clorox and a vacuum and clean out all those memories and then rebuild them if you want with some new memories.
Pretty much. Yes.
I
Yes.
like it. I won't see
Yes.
y'all until I'll see y'all the end of June. Good luck. All right. Jabrita had a question. I don't want to hog the mic. So Jabrita, I know you had something that you wanted to ask or comment.
Yes, actually, I wanted to say thank you. It was very, very powerful, especially the breakdown of the DMT and the energy of that. Can you guys hear me?
Yes, loud and clear.
Okay,
Yes.
wonderful.
Yes.
I had a
You're most
question
welcome.
going. I'm sorry.
No, we hear you,
Oh, I
Jabrita.
was saying
There's
you're
just a
most
little
welcome.
overlay, a little bit of a delay.
Okay, I had a question in reference to going back to the energy and the chakra, the tuning. So I know that another young lady had mentioned, I think it was Alexandria that had mentioned, how do you know if you're unbalanced? And I wanted to ask a question in reference to eating. I have a girlfriend that also does energy work, but specifically work focuses on like shadow work and DNA activation, of that regard. But my question is there a way that you can keep your chakras balanced through different things you eat, like the colors associated with the chakra alignment? I know that there's more than seven, but the seven basic, colors. Is there a way that you can keep things balanced in terms of your diet with your chakra alignment as well?
Oh, absolutely. This goes with the holistic practice, right? Or holistic wellness. So understanding that you can't heal the whole without, or heal a part without the whole. So when it comes to balancing the chakras through food, it, all chakras are color coded. So if you wanted to heal the heart, you eat a lot of green foods. If you wanted to open the third eye, you eat a lot of dark violet foods found in the third eye. If you wanted to heal the root chakra, you eat a lot of red fruit. And the cool thing about that is these red fruit are also good for the blood, right? Any fruit that is shaped in a certain way, say for instance walnuts are shaped just like the brain. Well, there is an omega-3, which is a fatty acid that's good for the brain. And this produces myelin, which is the covering of our nerves in our spine. So the more myelin that we have on our spine, the better it can send signals to and from the less myelin we have, the weaker the signals are, if that makes sense. But yes, to answer your question, you can heal your chakras using food as well. The great thing about it is you're healing the chakras, but again, it's the whole body because you're healing everything. If you're eating fresh fruits and vegetables, a particular chakra, now you're putting these electric foods into the body, which our body needs electricity, right? You're putting these electric foods into the body, helping the body and the digestive system to work more optimally. And then you're also healing that chakra as well because of the color code, or seeing the color. Because what color therapy is you're just seeing the color, and that just seeing the color and knowing that the color is associated with something inside the body changes the body. It starts to transmute the energy. It's almost like it goes right back to our thoughts. Like everything that we do goes back to our thoughts, and our thoughts create the healing, or it can create the disease, if that makes sense. So I hope that answered
Yes,
your.
yes, ma'am. Thank you so much for the explanation. I did have it was a two-part question. My other question is,
Okay.
I noticed that there are frequencies that you can listen to as well, like that align with the solar or the sacral and different things like that. Should you listen to them all? They have some that's combined. So should you listen to them all at once or focus on one area at a time?
I would say focus on one area at a time, simply because you want to make sure that you cover everything. And if we're talking about healing the whole, then you're trying to listen to all of it at one time. There may be some chakras that don't even need that type of attention. Your throat chakra may be on point, so you don't even really need to listen to something that would release or open up the throat chakra. You may just really need to focus on the heart and the sacral. And so then you can listen to heart and sacral, but I always recommend doing one at a time. And And one of my
Uh-oh. I think Ari got pulled out. Let me just take a quick look. Ari, if you're there, send a chat. If not, all right. And we went over a little bit, guys, and I did that because we had so many technical difficulties. We do have to close out the session. So what we're going to do, and now we'll go behind the scenes and speak to Ari and see if she can come and do one of our workshops, because obviously with this type of information, 1 hour or even an hour and 20 minutes is not going to cover it all. But it was a good session. What I'm going to do is send the information. So if anyone is interested in speaking directly with Ari, you can. Um, Ariadne Joseph, So Divine Vibrational Medicine. Her email is on the screen, ariadnejoseph83gmail.com. Facebook, Ariadne Joseph, IG, Soul Repair 1. And as always, make sure you share and make sure you support and tell others about the 30-day redemption. Obviously, we have a lot of information to bring out and to share, but make sure you tell others about it so that they can join and also gather the content. We hope that the information was edifying. We look forward to tomorrow and the rest of this week, where we'll do more of our body segment, a lot of other good information. And again, for anyone that's interested more in Ariadne, we will see if we could either get her to come back, or if not, we will do a workshop. So have a wonderful day. Jabrita, I will make sure that you get your question answered. For everyone else, have a great day, and we will talk tomorrow. Take care.
Thank you.